Good evening, Lake Orion. Well, it's a very rainy night here. I'm your host, and I am Between Taorminas. Yes, indeed. This is Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
For those of you guys wondering where Ian Weatherspoon is this week, he unfortunately got into a car accident a couple days ago on I-75 while driving to work in Detroit. But Ian's fine. He's not in the hospital or anything. It's just his car's in the shop, and Ian's unable to make it tonight. But Sammy's here. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
So what do you think about the Detroit Red Wings being one of the worst teams in the NHL?
Hey! They're horrible. They're garbage. They're nothing. They're jokes. They're overrated, and they're pathetic.
You know what? I agree with you. All right, so let's go. But let's talk about something that is of major significance. That is the Detroit Pistons. The owner, Tom Gores, made the move to leave the Palace to go to Little Caesars Arena, the Pizza Arena, I call it. So now this is the first time that Detroit will have all four major sports teams downtown. A lot of people that there are those that are supporting the move. There's a lot of those that are against the move. So what's your take about that?
I'm against the move because when you look at, I talked to Bob Bridges the other day.
Lake Orion girls freshman coach.
And he was for it. He was really happy to look at economics, the economic standpoint of it. You look at how it's going to benefit Detroit because it's going to really bring a lot of money into that city. It's going to bring a lot of they're like on the way up, you know, and everybody's been saying, well, Detroit's been down for so long, you know, and they're making a comeback. I mean, like, you know, and bringing the Pistons downtown will help that cause, you know, to see the Red Wings, Tigers, Pistons, and Lions all together with within 4 blocks of each other. It's kind of an important thing for the city to get back to where it belongs. But here's why I'm against it. You know, you look at what Bill Davison did. You know, he took his team, moved it to suburbs.
Took it out of Detroit.
Moved to the suburbs, you know, did a really nice job up at Pontiac and Pontiac Silverdome, then eventually the Palace Auburn Hills. What this is going on is you're merging Mike Illich's, the Illich family group with Palace Sports and Entertainment. You know what I mean? They're conjoining. It's like you're merging, it's like Godzilla merging with King Kong. And you look at you know,
but I get it's like you're merging into like one big, and you want to see competition, and you're merging two big corporations
together, sort of like Microsoft. But when you look at the situation with this, I really think it's a horrible move because you look at the economics in Oakland County. Of course, Oakland County is one of the best counties in the entire state of Michigan, and also in the nation. So when you look at the Pistons in Auburn Hills, it helped out with businesses and restaurants there. It also, you know, you can also go out to I-75 and M24 for games. I mean, like, and now you're going to have to go down all the way down to I-75, all the way down there. Can you just imagine all the traffic jams, all the log jams it's going to be, especially having to go down there to the District of Detroit? I think this is a complete disaster. Now, Tom Gores said that this move will benefit everybody involved in Detroit. I'm not sure if this is going to benefit the northern suburbs. I mean, like, you know, it could benefit Wayne County, but I'm not sure if it's going to benefit the northern suburbs at all.
But you've heard about, there's some talks about potentially demolishing the Palace.
That's sad.
And also the land is very, very you can build like a corporation building on that land. There's a lot of development opportunities.
There is. You can develop an opportunity there, but you know,
especially
you just had Tom Gorse put in at least $90 million of his own money to refurbish the Palace Auburn Hills.
Yep.
And now you're looking at this move. You're going to cut supports. You're going to cut staff there. You're going to cut jobs there. You know, this is more of, if you think this is creating jobs, this is not creating jobs. This is taking away jobs, because you look at it now.
Or relocating jobs, moving to Detroit.
Yeah, but you're taking it now. You look at, okay, the Detroit Pistons at Hungry Howie's Pizza Sportium. They're not going to have that anymore. It's going to be Little Caesars Pizza. They're moving to Little Caesars Arena. And you look at sponsors. I think this is going to hurt the Pistons than it's going to help the Pistons, because from an economic standpoint, being that team outside of Detroit, it gives you an advantage. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. The Detroit Pistons, yeah, and also the Pistons owned the Palace, you know, and now you're going downtown to share an arena with the Detroit Red Wings. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, like, if you look at it here, the Detroit Pistons were the only suburban team in the NBA that had their team playing in the suburbs. Now they're moving them downtown, and you know, I think it's it was a publicity stunt. I think this is beyond disappointing that, you know, the Oakland County is losing their basketball franchise, and now they're going back downtown Detroit. It's unfortunate, you know, and it's going to hurt some communities around here. It's going to hurt especially the Auburn Hills community, the Rochester community, you know, even because you see Oakland University involved with Piston games, of course, you know.
Yep. They play Michigan State.
You don't know if they're gonna do that anymore, because now with the Pistons moving downtown, do I think this brings everybody together? I think it doesn't. I think it's gonna bring more people more apart. You know what I mean? It's gonna bring them together.
So, but you see what the Pistons are doing with they're putting in new basketball courts, they're renovating their. So I mean, it could be a good thing especially for the city of Detroit.
It's a good thing for the city, but it hurts the suburbs. You know, I think what Tom Gorse did was hurt the suburbs a little more because of moving the Pistons downtown. Now, do I think the city deserves to have their own basketball team, the Pistons down there? Yeah, but look at what the Pistons have done for the suburbs. You know, what they have done, especially in Oakland County, especially in, you know, you can bring, instead of like, for people having
from Macomb County, Oakland County, where the bulk of the money is.
Right. Instead of bringing everybody, instead of like, you know, you can even, if you're in Lake Orion going to Palace Auburn, it's only about a 10, 15-minute drive.
Not even that.
And instead you're going to have to go 45 minutes down to Detroit to watch a basketball game.
And it's not just the Pistons. You know, you have the MHSA state finals for wrestling there. You have you have several concerts that go on there. I mean, it's just, and then you've got that much limited space. You know, you're going to have to ask for space to perform at these arenas, you know, especially in the winter where instead of having two arenas, you have one arena.
Right.
So that'll be interesting.
This is just a bad deal here from the from the standpoint. This hurts. I think it hurts a lot more people than it helps a lot more people. And if I'm Tom Gorse, I don't mind if Tom Gorse is right here sitting with us on BT. I'm calling out you, Mr. Tom Gorse, to come on this set and give me an honest opinion why you are thinking about bringing your team, the Detroit Pistons, down to Detroit instead of here. And I'll give you an earful. I will give you an earful. I'm serious. Tom Gorse, come here to BT. Talk to me, Anthony, and Ian, and discuss why you are moving the Pistons to Detroit.
So, wow. So, Tom Gorse, I guess the offer is there for you if you want to come on our show. Definitely the offer is there. All right, so we'll be right back with Between Taorminas here on ONTV.
Residents are invited to line the streets of downtown Lake Orion on Saturday, December 3rd at 6 p.m. for the 2016 Orion Area Lighted Christmas Parade. The parade starts at Blanche Sims Elementary School and travels north on Broadway before coming to an end at the Eamon Center. More than 75 community groups, including scouts, dignitaries, and marching bands, will entertain spectators of all ages. And of course, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus will appear in person to usher in the holiday season and will attend a meet and greet at Village Hall after the parade. If you'd like to participate in the parade or for more information, including the parade route, visit orionlightedparade.org.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
When I'm in Lake Orion and I want to catch up on sports, I watch Between Taorminas.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
Yeah, I had to get my Tom Gorse thing out of the way. I'm a little disappointed about Gorse and Illich joining forces. Just very upset about it.
After the competition, economic competition, competition is good. Sometimes mergers aren't very good.
Mergers are not very good. It's like Microsoft and it's like Microsoft coming together. That's what it's like with this new arena. This new Detroit thing, you know what I mean? The District Detroit. It's like Microsoft coming together.
All right, let's change gears. I want to talk about a big event going on in college football this weekend in Columbus, Ohio. Michigan versus Ohio State. What's your take on it?
When I look at this matchup, of course, I was very disappointed with Michigan State, the way they play against Ohio State. But Michigan, But when you look at Ohio State, J.T. Barrett's the real deal. He's been playing really well as of late, but I cannot trust Ohio State's offensive line right now the way they've been playing. Mike Weber, of course, we all know him from his game at Detroit Cast Tech.
Yes, very well.
He had a huge game against Michigan State. And I know there's a lot of bad blood between him and Michigan, and especially from Michigan fans that Weber ditched them to go to Ohio State. And then when Harbaugh came, there were thoughts that he would reconsider Michigan, but he ended up staying at his commitment at Ohio State. So when you look at that matchup, and of course Michigan's offense has not been the greatest since Wilson Speight went down. Davion Smith is going to have to be huge in this game. But when you look at Michigan's
Jabril Peppers?
When you look at this game, Michigan's defensively, I think Jabril Peppers is going to have a huge game because a lot of people are considering him to be a Heisman front runner.
Yes.
If you want to be a Heisman front runner, you have to win this game if you're Michigan. Going into Columbus, making a statement. This is the game that you have got to make a statement. And when you look at this matchup, a lot of things are at stake. You got the college football playoff, the winner, the Big Ten championship game. Now Ohio State has a couple of hurdles to get. Besides being Michigan, Ohio State needs Michigan State to beat Penn State, to go to the Big Ten championship game. But if all Michigan needs is just beat Ohio State, and you're in the Big Ten championship
Now, the winner of that looks like they're playing Wisconsin.
It's looking, yes, they're going to be playing Wisconsin. When you look at that matchup, both teams have played
Wisconsin
with the exception of Penn State. So when you look at the matchup there, Michigan had some issues with Wisconsin. Ohio State just blew out Wisconsin.
Ohio State took Wisconsin overtime. They went to overtime.
They went to Ohio time.
Ohio
State did find a way to win that game, but either way, I think it's going to be a very close game in that Big Ten championship game because Wisconsin matches up very well with both Michigan and Ohio State. Now, with Penn State, I can't give a quote on that because Wisconsin hasn't played Penn State. You know what I mean? They haven't played them this year. So when you look at if there's a team I think that could really spoil things, I think it's Wisconsin because when you look at what Wisconsin's done is they played a murder's row of a non-conference schedule. Even though that game with LSU now is going to be starting to become okay now instead of very good because LSU lost to Florida. So when you look at when you look at games, I think that the Wisconsin game, Wisconsin needs to play either Michigan or Ohio State to at least make sure if they can get into the playoff, because I know the playoff committee, they always want to say like conference champions are always important, but when you look at it here, it wouldn't surprise me if 2 Big Ten teams are in the playoff. The Big Ten this year is proven to be the most toughest conference in the entire country. When you
Obviously, you got
football.
Michigan, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State, you got Wisconsin.
Then you got some good teams.
Iowa.
You got some good teams in Iowa. Maryland's had a nice year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so the Big Ten, very tough conference. You know what I mean? Michigan State's had a really down year. Rutgers is trying to get back to where they are. Minnesota secretly is actually a pretty good team. Northwestern's Northwestern's okay team. You know what I mean? So when you look at the Big Ten, the strength of the conference, I think it's a very strong conference right now. And could you think about this? Penn State in the Rose Bowl?
That could happen.
Could happen.
You imagine?
It could happen. If let's say, for example, Michigan, Ohio State were to get in the playoff, who goes to the Rose Bowl?
Penn
State. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or Wisconsin. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Big Ten's got a really nice problem to deal with.
Western Michigan's still undefeated.
Oh yeah, they got a tough one this week though. And I talked to Kevin Kopech about this.
The girls' varsity coach.
Yep. And, of course, he's really nervous about the game with despite the fact that the game's in Kalamazoo with Toledo. Of course,
Holy Toledo.
Toledo is a very good football team. There's no doubt about that. I think they're going to test Western Michigan. But when you look at Western Michigan controls their own destiny, even though I was a little upset that they were ranked 21st in the BCS last week. Boise State was ahead of them. Despite the fact Boise State has a loss, Western Michigan still controls their own destiny. And a lot of experts have said Western Michigan would meet Penn State in the Cotton Bowl, which I think that would be a very interesting game.
That'd be interesting.
That would be very interesting, Considering it, I think it could happen. And I think Western Michigan matches up well with Penn State. But when you look at Western Michigan, they're going to have the MAC championship game they're going to deal with at Ford Field, which they should be favored against either Ohio or Akron, I believe. And then you have, and then of course this game with Toledo. This game with Toledo is going to be very tough. Then you have the MAC championship game, So when you look at it here, they have to win these next 2 games if they want to get to their destination, which is a big time New Year's Day Bowl against a very good opponent in the Cotton Bowl. A lot of people say it could be Oklahoma. It could be or it could be against Penn State. So, so I think Western Michigan, all they have to do is just keep on winning. If they keep on winning, everything's fine.
You notice something. Michigan is in a bowl game. Western Michigan, bowl game. Central Michigan, bowl game. Eastern Michigan, bowl game. Michigan State, only one missing out.
It's been a rough year for Michigan State. I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect this to be, them to be a 3-8 team going on right now. It could be a 3-9 team to close out the year, but you don't have a true quarterback in Tyler O'Connor, who I thought was a complete disaster this year. When you don't have that pass rusher like a Shelley Calhoun, from the outside, who you just lost. You lose a guy like Connor Cook, it's going to be hard to replace those type of players. But when you look at Michigan State, there's always a year where you have to have at least one down year. They had a down year in 2012, if you remember. So before they get back up, I think next year, it's going to be Michigan State's year, to at least get back to respectability. You got Brian Lewerke, he's a very promising freshman, and also got Messiah DeWeaver, who could be doing some battles. Also, maybe got Damian Terry, who can at quarterback. But I really think it's going to be one of those 3 that's going to be starting at quarterback. You're still going to have LJ Scott back. A lot of those players that they have were very young this year. And, of course, they have to settle on their lines, especially up front, where both offensively and defensively, they got to change it. They got to at least change it up a little bit, and especially defensively, where I thought was a major disappointment this year was the defensive side of the football. They've got to change some things up front. Especially in the secondary, also there as well. So they got to do some major change on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, I'm not too eagerly worried, but they've got to get experience. They've got to get back to who they are, and that is physical, mean, green football. You know, they got to get back to that if they want to compete in the Big Ten next year.
All right. Any final thoughts?
Well, we'll see what happens.
Alabama, Auburn this week.
I got Auburn upsetting Alabama.
I think Alabama wins.
I got Auburn upsetting them.
All right, we'll be right back between Taorminas here on
That's in
ONTV.
Tuscaloosa.
Hello, Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina talking OA Now. In it, we'll talk various stories ranging from the state to Oakland County teams affecting the OAA. Catch us here on OA Now. Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Let's talk college hoops a little bit. So far, Oakland's off to an undefeated start. Michigan State survived the scare. Indiana's got one loss thanks to
How did they lose the IPFW?
The Elephant's good this year.
How did they lose the IPFW?
The Elephant's good.
Yeah, despite the fact they should not be losing the IPFW.
We'll give Fort Wayne a lot of credit. They are projected to win the Summit League this year, so
They should not be losing the IPFW.
give them a lot of credit. And the Coliseum celebrated last night.
Yes, they stormed the court.
Yes, they did. Michigan's still doing
undefeated.
pretty good. They're undefeated, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 25th in the country. Michigan State went to 24th. That's awful.
Oh.
You know, when you look at, and of course there's a lot of controversy. Hear about that?
Oh, yes, the clock keeping incident.
That was not the timekeeper's fault. And people like Bob Bridges is saying that. It's complaining to me about, about, wow, you are so lucky your timekeeper, you gave you another win, you know, like 2001, you know. Why? Why bring this up? Because I'm telling you right now, Michigan State is fine. I mean, like, people ask me, is it the end of the world in East Lansing? No, it's not. I'm telling everybody this, especially in Spartan Nation, here, and put it here in my camera right now. Everything is fine if you're a Spartan fan. Your football team is fine, okay? You had one bad year. You had one down year, okay? Remember the next two seasons. Remember, Big Ten championship, okay? Big Ten championship.
This is a basketball segment,
now,
not a football segment.
let's go to basketball here, of course. You're fine. Tom Izzo is one of the best coaches in the country. They're fine. They are fine, even though they're 2-2. You know, they are fine, okay?
They had quality losses to Kansas and Arizona.
No, Arizona and Kentucky are two very good teams.
Sorry.
Okay? If I'm Michigan State, I'm fine. I'm not pressing the panic button in East Lansing right now. Now, if I'm Michigan, on the other hand, you're lucky to be 4-0 because they are lucky to be 4-0. You know?
Why? They beat SMU.
SMU is not that good, and Marquette's not that good. I mean, you look at them, and then, of course, look at Oakland. You look at Oakland,
Oakland's
you know.
4-0.
Oakland's 4-0. I mean, like, they're rolling.
Ranked in the mid-major poll.
They got the Great Alaska Shootout coming up this morning. You know what I mean? So
Nevada.
They got
Good
Nevada,
team.
so that's going to be a very interesting matchup there for them. So, you know, if I'm Michigan State, I'm not passing the panic button. I'm fine. You know, if I'm Oakland, I'm fine. If I'm Michigan, it's time to press the panic button.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Because Michigan, remember, Michigan's weaknesses are going to get exposed. Because look at Michigan.
They still don't have post.
They still don't have a post presence. Their interior's god-awful. And, of course, they can't rely on jump shooting and three-point shooting to win you games. Can't rely on it. And Bob Bridges even knows that.
Dang. So So other than that, so you've got. Let's talk about IPFW's win over Indiana before we head on out. That was obviously a very impressive win. There's been debate about bigger schools going to the Power 6 conference schools going to mid-major schools and playing at their home courts. Do you have a problem with that or
no? No. Because, I mean,
as an Oakland guy, I enjoy Michigan State coming down and playing us, even if it's at the Palace.
Right. I mean, like, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, like, because now what I wish Michigan State would go play Oakland at the Arena. Yes.
They've done it before, but there's so many.
Done it before.
There's a lot of people that are, there's a lot of fans, so they have to have it at a bigger venue.
Right. But I'm telling you right now, you know what I mean? I still think it makes a lot more sense for
Georgia's
Oakland.
coming in, though.
Yeah, Georgia's coming in there. Yep.
No,
I'm telling you right now, Oakland. For Michigan State to play Oakland, it has to beat the Arena because and if you want
Has to be?
If
the place is going to sell out. There's not going to be any seats.
Well, you got to get limited
At the
tickets.
Arena.
You got to give limited tickets to Michigan State fans. You know what I mean?
But it's all about money. It's all about money.
But I don't have a problem with them.
But nonetheless, my point is, IPFW beat Indiana. Could Oakland finally beat Michigan State?
They got a chance. John Dorsey Walker's going to have to play well. Michigan State, very young team.
Oakland should have beat Michigan State last year. Should have beat them in 2011.
Oakland's got a very experienced team, so this will be very interesting.
Yes, we'll have to see what happens. Any final thoughts?
Well, see what happens.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of Between Taorminas. On behalf of Between Taorminas, History Now, OAA Now, the ONTV Fantasy Football Show, we'd like to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. Also, stay safe out there, Lake Orion, and everywhere else. Have a great night, and see you soon.